So this is kind of a fun story. Towards the end of my mission, I had the opportunity to go to the very top of our mission. It's the very top of Botswana. We had a small group meeting there, a group of members of the church. We didn't have any missionaries serving there. So this area is called Kasane, and it's an incredible story. You can actually find the story on YouTube, but a lady kind of helped this group get started in Kasane. It's a touristy area. Not necessarily touristy, it's well known for safaris. So when we were there were literally elephants walking across the streets in this area. They don't have any fences around kind of the designated game parks and things like that. So when you think of Africa, like that was Africa with animals walking around. And the church, the members there built their own little home where they met for church. Incredible spirit there. Members, I think they had 3 or 4 couples who had been endowed, who had been converted in other areas and ended up in this town of Kasane. And just an incredible group of members, very spiritual, kind of off on their own, but yet they have some of the strongest testimonies I've seen. So we had the opportunity to go up there, visit them, go to church, and I just loved the experience, and experience Africa with animals walking around and things like that. So that was fun. One of my favorite stories or highlights of my mission. I'll share a more spiritual story of meeting a family and watching them convert. And I met so many wonderful families. I could go on for hours telling stories about the people I met. So one of the areas that I just loved was a village in Botswana called Mulipololi. I served there for 4.5 months. And the ward had been there. It was a branch when I was there. It had been around for, I think, 1.5 years and kind of 2 years by the time I left the area. And shortly after I left, it was turned into a ward. So amazing how fast the church grew there, becoming a ward in like 3 years, I believe. So there's a family there that we met, my companion and I. Oh, there's a few good families, but one of the families we met ran into the daughter. One day she said we could come back, and we started to come back and teach. This family had a father, mother, and they had 5 or 6 kids, a grandchild. And just to see them embrace the gospel was a wonderful experience. And the father was a little more difficult, and he would laugh about this now. He was very strong in his church and held some leadership roles. But as we taught him and taught his family, I think his family helped him realize the importance of the restored gospel and the fullness of the gospel on the earth. And eventually he got baptized as well. So it was great to see that whole family join the church, and now they serve in the ward, hold wonderful callings. So I know it's very vague story, but one that I cherish and love.